Here we go, Crockpot Tuscan chicken. Here's everything you'll need for this recipe. We'll start with 4 chicken breasts. They can be fresh or frozen. I'm using a frozen that has been thinly sliced. You'll need shredded Parmesan cheese, heavy whipping cream, paprika, salt, black pepper. You'll also need some Italian seasoning, sun-dried tomatoes, cornstarch, minced garlic, you can use fresh or the jar kind, fresh spinach, and a pasta of your choice. I'm using fettuccine noodles, and of course your crock pot. First we're going to start by putting our chicken in the bottom of the crock pot. Next we're going to take a small bowl and all the seasonings for the chicken we're going to mix together. Start with a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning, a quarter of a teaspoon of paprika, and an eighth of a teaspoon of black pepper. We're going to mix this together and sprinkle it over the chicken. Usually the first time I make a new recipe like this, I'll follow it to a T, but I did tweak this a bit as we go along, and I'll tell you what I did. I added about a tablespoon of garlic powder and about 2 more tablespoons of Italian seasoning. Next, we're going to make the sauce in this bowl. Start with 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, a tablespoon of cornstarch. The recipe called for 2 teaspoons of minced garlic. I used 1. A quarter of a teaspoon of salt, and an eighth of a teaspoon of black pepper. Next, we need 1/3 cup of sun-dried tomatoes chopped. Whenever I use sun-dried tomatoes, I like to squeeze out as much of the oil as I can with a paper towel like this. You don't have to, completely optional, it's just personal preference. Here's my 1/3 of a cup, and I'm going to chop up the sun-dried tomatoes until the cup is full. Add that to the mix. We need a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, and we need a 1/2 cup of chopped fresh spinach. I have picky eaters in my house, so I have to take a minute or so to pick off all the stems. You don't have to do that, but I do, personal choice. And then just chop up the spinach till you get about a 1/2 cup. And add it to your mix. Take a whisk and blend it together, and then pour it over top of your chicken. Spread it around on top so it covers the chicken. Put your lid on your crock pot, set it to low, and cook for 5 hours or until your chicken is cooked through. About an hour before it's done, I shredded it with 2 forks, and I noticed it was really dry. There was almost no sauce. So I ended up adding 1 cup of vegetable broth and about 4 ounces of cream cheese. And I let that cook for an additional hour, and it came out perfect. Now we're going to cook the pasta that you choose to the package instructions, basically boil and drain. And then we're going to pour our chicken over top of the pasta just like this. This recipe was an absolute hit. I'm really glad that I did tweak it. It came out perfect. My daughter said this is her new favorite. Crockpot Tuscan chicken. It is delicious.